All right, let's get straight to it. We're not just talking about influence today. We are opening the playbook of psychological control. And let's be clear, this isn't some abstract theory. This is the operating manual for power. And by the end of this explainer, you'll know exactly how it's used against you.
Think about that for a second. That's not just a dramatic line. The forces that shape our world, well, they operate on a psychological battlefield. And they count on the fact that most of us have no idea what the rules of the game even are. Our mission today is to put those rules in your hands.
So here's the plan. Here's our briefing. We're going to start with the idea of an invisible government. Then we'll break down the toolkit they use, piece by piece. We'll look at how this scales up into massive systems of control, how technology has put it on steroids, and, most importantly, how you can start building your defense.
Okay, so let's begin with the biggest vulnerability of all, our own minds. Think of your brain as having two operating systems. You've got system 1, which is fast, it's emotional, it's all gut instinct. Then you've got system 2, which is slow, logical, and does the heavy lifting. Now guess which one every manipulator on the planet targets? Yeah, it's your system 1. Because if they can control your emotions, they can bypass your reason entirely.
Now this idea isn't new, not by a long shot. Almost 100 years ago, a guy named Edward Bernays, often called the father of public relations, wrote this. But here's the crazy part. He wasn't some whistleblower exposing a secret plot. Nope, he was literally writing the instruction manual. He was proud of it. The architects of this stuff have been telling us how they do it for decades.
Need a concrete example? Back in the 1920s, it was a huge taboo for women to smoke in public. The tobacco industry had a problem, so they hired Bernays. He didn't just make a few ads. Oh no, he staged a massive media event. He paid models to march in an Easter parade, lighting up cigarettes and calling them torches of freedom. He brilliantly linked smoking to women's liberation. You see, he didn't sell a product, he sold an idea, and sales exploded. That is how the invisible government works.
So how do they do it? How do they pull those strings and target our emotional brains so effectively? Let's move on to the toolkit itself. We're about to break down the specific weapons they use to hack the human mind.
First things first, we've got to draw a very clear line in the sand. Influence, that's part of life, right? A leader who inspires a team, a teacher who motivates a student, that's constructive. But manipulation, that is a whole different beast. It's sneaky, it only serves the person doing it, and it works by twisting your own psychology against you.
You've probably heard this term before, gaslighting. It's a nasty one. It's a slow, toxic burn. The manipulator will deny saying things you know they said. They'll question your memory, your sanity, anything to make you feel like you're going crazy. And what's the end game? To absolutely destroy your ability to trust your own mind. That way you become completely dependent on their version of reality.
And here's the second weapon. Think of your emotions, your guilt, your love, your anger, your fear as an internal guidance system. Well, a manipulator sees them as levers to be pulled. They'll use your guilt to make you do what they want. They'll weaponize your love to make you feel like you owe them. They'll stoke your fear so you run to them for protection. They turn your own feelings into a cage.
Now, these tools are devastating enough in a one-on-one relationship. But what happens when they get scaled up? What happens when they are baked into the very systems we live inside? Our institutions, our governments, our media?
This leads to a really disturbing question, doesn't it? One that psychologists have wrestled with for a long time. Are evil acts only committed by bad people, by bad apples? Or is there something bigger going on?
Well, psychologist Philip Zimbardo came up with a theory for this. He called it the Lucifer effect. And he basically said, hey, maybe it's not always about the bad apples. Maybe the real problem is the bad barrels, the powerful situations and systems we put people into that can corrupt otherwise good people. It's not about who you are, it's about where you are. And the proof? It's chilling. Zimbardo's famous Stanford prison experiment was a terrifying demonstration of this in action. He took a bunch of normal college students, randomly made half of them guards and the other half prisoners. Within days, the guards became sadistic and cruel. The prisoners had psychological breakdowns. The situation, the power dynamic, the system created the horror. Good people put in a bad barrel, did terrible things.
Okay, so let's bring this right into our world, right now. Because the bad barrels of the 21st century, well, they aren't made of concrete and steel anymore. They're built from code and data.
Let's be real. Every notification, every scroll, every single like, it's all part of this new architecture of control. The phone in your hand is, without a doubt, the most effective surveillance and manipulation device ever invented.
There's a name for this new reality. It's called surveillance capitalism. It's a whole new kind of economic system where the raw material is you. It's your life. Your data is being scooped up not just to sell you a pair of shoes, but to predict what you'll do next. And then, even more important, to change what you'll do next.
And this is the engine that runs it all. This feedback loop is the heart of modern manipulation, and it's running 24/7. First, they monitor. They watch everything you do. Then they predict. Their AIs build a digital model of you that knows you better than you know yourself. And finally, they modify. They serve you the exact piece of content that's designed to provoke a specific emotional reaction, to keep you scrolling, to keep you angry, to keep you engaged, and to slowly, invisibly steer your choices. It's automated mass control.
Okay, that was a lot. We've seen the playbook, we've taken apart the weapons, we've mapped out the new battlefield, so the big question is, how do we fight back? This isn't about being paranoid, it's about achieving psychological independence.
And let's be very, very clear. This dark psychology we've been talking about isn't abstract. The propaganda that makes people seem less than human, the systems that are designed to divide and to control, these were the very instruments used to justify colonialism. They were used to enforce the brutal logic of apartheid. Breaking physical chains is only the first step. True liberation means breaking the psychological ones too.
And this is the opportunity. This is what's so powerful. Africa doesn't have to copy and paste the same power structures that once held it down. It can create something new, something better. Models of leadership based not on manipulation, but on community and trust, on Ubuntu. That is the future Africa can give to the world.
So on a personal level, right now, how do you defend yourself? It starts here. The next time you feel that sudden rush of anger or fear from something you see online, just pause. Engage your System 2 brain. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What button just got pushed? Verify everything. Set boundaries with people and with your tech. Know your own weak spots. The ultimate freedom is choosing not to play their game at all. To choose your own game, based on meaning and purpose, not power and control. This is your mental armor.
Remember this, the most important territory you will ever have to defend is the one between your own ears. Freedom starts with a sovereign mind.
And if you want to see how these exact tools are being weaponized in modern conflict, you need to subscribe. In my next explainer, I'm going to show you exactly how this dark psychology playbook is being deployed right now in the 2026 Iran war by America, by Iran, and by Israel. You will not want to miss it.